right. About to get rolling on some Deforum here. You can probably see my screen. I see a few of our Deforum fanatics in chat there. We got Fractal, Alchemist, Thresh, and Deformer. All do a bunch with Deforum. It's great to see. Good morning, good evening. Guessing it's mostly evening, Europe side. Right. Okay. Let's get things rolling here. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Good evening. 6 o'clock, where some of the community's coming in from. I've got a fun day today. We've been asked to do a Deforum day for a little while, and there's a bunch of questions that have come up in the chat about how to use Deforum, some common things that people run into. So I'm happy to kind of go over that, as well as talk about some of the new, more advanced techniques we can try out, have some fun with. I will say that I am feeling a little under the weather today, so I've got my lemon ginger honey drink. I'll be enjoying that while we chat. So hopefully my throat holds up okay. And we might have a special guest later. We'll see if they're available or not. As well, I've got some fun updates. I know I've been teasing the Creators Club in the chat about how there's so much good stuff coming that I can't really talk about. Well, I can give you guys a little hint. So what we've been working on is a way to get you the latest updates so you don't need to wait for us to test everything. We know we have a lot of eager folks in here who, you find something new online, you're like, I really want to try this. Like yesterday, it was the new train without Laura's quote unquote comfy UI workflow with the IP adapter. Looks super cool, needed some custom nodes. We need to load those up, we need to test. So we're going to be having a new feature called Frontier Mode. So when you're on the Frontier, you will have access to the latest and greatest of the software. So it won't be tested. It'll essentially be like untested, and you might run into bugs, but that's the Frontier for you. And by using Frontier and reporting those bugs, you do help us get a more stable foundation build, which is, always what is great for people who don't want to mess around with the Frontier. But we're all in AI. We all love the latest and greatest and the new things that you find. So we will have a Frontier mode. And just so you know, extension persistence, custom nodes, custom node persistence, that's all still on the agenda. It's a tricky problem. We're working on it. So for now, this Frontier mode will help you get access to the latest features, and watch for an announcement on it. We've got a huge build coming out, some exciting new things in it, and can't wait to roll that out. We've been working with the Dream Booth dev. We got a lot of updates there. We've got some new applications coming. We've got some new toys for Creators Club. So stay tuned for an announcement from us. We've been super busy behind the scenes, and we'll have some great new stuff for everyone shortly. So let's jump in. Starting with Deforum in RunDiffusion. And One of the common things I get is questions about settings, both what settings to use and how to save and load settings, and then how to input videos, how to use video input in Deforum, and then how to use Controlnet in Deforum. So we'll go over those things and try some new stuff that I haven't even tried yet, but I've seen people doing it. I got really excited about what people are making in Deforum, and can't wait to show everyone. So to start with, over on the Deforum tab, this is kind of generally what it looks like. And let's get sort of a basic setup. I always like to test it first, do a little quick test, make sure everything's working, get some settings in place, and let me just show you the settings that I use. So first of all, I'm not going to use SDXL because we're doing video input, we're going to be doing Controlnet. I've found that Controlnets work better in the 1.5 models. So let's do that. We're going to choose a model here. Let's just grab maybe Ghost Mix. Okay. One of my old faves. And let's do let's start off. I'm gonna get Controlnet working. So what I want is a tall, like kind of for mobile video. So I'm going to keep the width at 512. I'm going to pump up the height a little bit, not that much. So less than 1080, maybe 960. Maybe a little bit less even. Okay. Resolution's not super important, but it is good to be closer or in the same ratio to your input video. So if you've not, if you have a 16:9 input video, try to do a 16:9 ratio here. That's just basic of working with video. A lot of stuff you will see, particularly with older TV stuff, is in 4:3, right? For every 4 pixels on one side, there's 3 on the other. Morning, Lucas. Good morning, good morning. War Anakin, folks in the chat. All right. So with Deforum, the keyframes tab has the majority of the settings. And I will tell you right now that there are 4 modes, but only one of them matters, and it is 3D mode. Do not use video input. Do not use interpolation unless you're trying to do something weird that could probably be done better some other way. I've been talking with lots of people, professional Deforum people, even the developers say, just use 3D. So the other thing is wrap. Get better results with wrap. And cadence is a really important one. So if you are putting in a video, it's best to keep it at 1. The cadence is basically how many frames you're going to diffuse. If you have a cadence of 2, every other frame will have a generation on it, and the frames in between will be doing what's called a tween in video terms. It just basically means it's like an in-between frame. It'll be bringing it from one frame to the next, but it won't be creating a new image on that frame. If you keep the cadence at 1, every frame will have a new image. So really important to understand that. All right, before I get too into all these other settings here, there's one other thing I do here. For input, 0 here. So now the camera is not moving, and if you are putting a video into the Deforum, generally you don't want the camera to move to get a recreation of the video. If you want to get experimental, you can do some camera stuff, you can have a lot of fun, but if you're just trying to get like a 1-for-1 restylization of a video, you want to put that on 0. Okay, so now let's say this is kind of what we wanted. Actually, let's put in a prompt here. Okay, so this is generally what I will do to test Controlnet. Is I will take this out and I will put like Clockwork Man Renaissance painting or something. Just like a very obvious prompt, so that we know that it's working when we test it. We're not going to use a video in it. We're just going to use Controlnet. We'll get to the Controlnets in a sec. Hybrid we'll get to later. And then output here. Generally, you want to match the FPS to your video. Okay, so I know this is a lot of stuff. Let's just save this. So in order to save this, I want to point out something very important. When you log in, there's this paths.txt file, okay? Open that up, and what you will see is these are all the paths to all the different model types, where your images are. In here, you'll just find basically all the main paths, okay? With saving and loading settings, you need to have the file path. So in order to do this, you have to type /mount/private. Okay, that is your root. So when you load in and you see this, you see custom images, logs, models. These two I created. Train and vids are my folders, but you should see the rest. If you go in and save this, it will show up here. Okay, so just keep that in mind, that you need to use a full path when you save it. And we'll just save it right here for experiment. So I clicked it, looks like nothing happens, hit reload, and there it is. Okay, so there's our Deforum settings. If you do not put in a path, it will error. Now we can test if it works. We go over here, we've got 832 on the height, we'll lower that. Now you need the same path, type the same path, boom, back to 832. So we know it worked. Okay? If you mess up somehow, like let's say I did Deforum setting, you will get an error like this. Okay? So you have to make sure that you use the right one. Now notice I'm back and I'm still getting the error. And that's the problem, is people put in the wrong path, they get an error, and then they get the right path, but they still get the error because of the fact that once you get the error in Deforum, it stays there. So we refresh our screen. Okay. We go back to Deforum. Now notice it's on 512 by 512. We still have our model. And then we go here and we type /mount/private. And now we're back to 832. You have to enter it correctly the first time. I know. It's annoying. But this is just the reality of the open source. And yes, case sensitive. Make sure you get it exactly right. I like to have a folder for all my settings, and then I name them, like what it is that I was creating in that, what the prompt is. If you use the generated Deforum settings file that appears in the folder in your generation, there is currently an error in it. I'm going to put in a bug request to the Deforum developers, but it right now will have an error in like certain fields that you have to change. It's even in like a really weird place. The errors in this guided images section down here, it like this gets entered wrong, or no, here, guided image schedule. This turns into this. It like gets rid of the keyframe, this part, and it shows up like that. So if you want to fix a settings file, you really need to go back to it. You didn't save the settings. I always encourage you to manually save the settings, but you just have to retype this and it will show up again. That's how you get around that bug. Very silly, I know. Okay. Yes, the classic 0.35 error. I've heard about it numerous times. So in order for us to get Controlnet working, what we need to do is go into extensions, okay? There's a lot of extensions that will break Deforum Controlnet. And part of the reason why is how Automatic is made. Any extension has like full access to this program. It's kind of strange that it works like this, and it's not the best development practice, but keep in mind, this is a frontier application. This is cutting edge of AI. This is open source. A lot of people not getting paid, just working together, just hanging out, adding stuff in. So, you know, this is an enterprise software. This is just cool stuff that people are making for fun. So in order to use it, you need to disable a few extensions that use JavaScript. So we need to disable a detailer, multi-diffusion, and I also do in-paint anything, regional prompter, roop, segment anything, and that should be good. And then you go apply and quit. I actually had issues with roop. Maybe it's fixed now. I don't know. But there we go. So now I hit apply and quit, and it will sit here for a while. We're going to let it reboot. In this time that it's rebooting, you don't have to do anything. In fact, if you go over here, you can see that the logs, they're auto-scrolling, they're creating, and you just sit here and wait. And it will eventually reset by itself. You don't need to refresh the screen. It will just eventually pop back up. You can refresh it, doesn't really hurt anything, but if you just wait here, eventually it'll come back. So to answer some questions in chat, yes, you can use LoRa's in Deforum. You can use textual embeddings in Deforum. What you'll find is some work great, some don't. Some that are more unpredictable may cause more flickering. So you kind of almost want overtrained stuff for Deforum, weirdly as it is, because overtrained means more consistency. What else? Better interface for Deforum would be nice. Yeah. There are some good ones, like I like frame sync. Okay, here it is. Automatically rebooted. I didn't have to do anything. We'll double check in extensions. There we go. Right, looks good. Okay, go back to Deforum. We can see 512, 512, but our model is loaded. So let's get our settings back up and work from there. Okay, path looks good. And boom, we got it. All right, settings loaded. Now let's keep going. So we're going to go to Controlnet, enable. Okay, pixel perfect. What pixel perfect will do is it will evaluate the resolution of your input into Controlnet and the video that you're making, and it will do the best job at finding the perfect resolution for both. Okay, so let's choose our preprocessor. I'm gonna do the singing radio lady, so we can do let's do like a soft edge kind of thing to start. Which I think is like head. Oh no, is it head? I always forget. Soft edge. Yeah, okay. And then down here in the video input path, we need to put the path to our video. So here's vids. I've got a bunch of videos in here. We're going to do Singer Close, this video here, which is a very short video that I made. I highly suggest this. Get like a 5-6 second video that is very obviously of a human moving, that when you test it, you'll know whether or not Controlnet works. What I've found, especially with SDXL, is it can be very hard to know whether it's working or not. You have to very heavily weight things, you have to experiment, try different things. So having a video where you use the same video every time to test means that you'll be able to see if it's like just slightly coming through, and that can be really important. So here we go. I will do Controlnet is more important. I like just resize, and that should be good. So now we don't do hybrid. Output is 15 because the source file is 30 FPS, I believe. So we should now be able to just give it a test. So let's hit generate. See how it goes. And save settings. Okay. There we go. We got our first one working. Now we should be able to test right away. Okay, so let me show you the video that I've got so you can see how it's working here. So I can see right away that this is the first frame of the video is looking correct. but we need to make sure that it continues to move with the video. Because sometimes when you use Controlnet, the first image will come through, but then it will start diffusing like normal. It'll just keep going with the normal Deforum stuff. I can see the head starting to tilt, and for me, that is a sign that it is working. Here is the original video. Pop it up here.
All right, cool.
Whoop,
Got
not that one. Need to clear my
so
playlist here.
got
Stop. All right. This one. Right, very simple little video. Probably not ideal, this microphone's in the way, honestly. But yeah, I just grabbed it from like a stock video site online to test with. It's pretty clean. And we can see here that it does look like the person is turning. So what we can do here is let's interrupt it. Okay, I'm going to show you this, how to resume. So now click here to show. Let's just make sure that Controlnet is active and they are moving. Yep, cool. Looks good. It's about half speed, right? Because of 15 FPS. Microphone's coming through pretty good, actually. Okay. What I'm noticing here is you see how it starts clean and then it turns into the kind of cool stylized thing. Clean, stylized. Clean, stylized. So what we can do to edit that is we go into init, and you'll notice that the strength is on 0.8. Now we're not using init at the moment, but it's still picking up that first frame. So if we go to 6.5, that will match the strength schedule. So then the next time we generate, it should be a little better. It won't jump from clean to stylized. It's weird that the init here, again, we're not even using it, but this still takes effect. I don't know why that is. Just one of those weird things. Okay, so now we go to check it out in here, go images auto. Here's our video, right? We can open it. There's our boy singing away. Okay. Now, if we wanted to continue it, you go back to run. Down here is batch mode and resume. So we go resume animation, resume from time string. So you see this time string here and the batch name. It's important to take a look at these, because if you go back to here, you'll see that we have this ends in 4.4, this ends in 4.4. So if you want to resume another one, you enter just the time string from before and it will resume. So in this case, we're going to resume from time string, hit generate again, and see where it leaves us. There we go. See, it jumped right into the middle where the face is doing wild and wonderful things. Very cool. All right. So that's confirmation that our Controlnet is working. So now, what do we want to do with it? You know, we could keep working on our headphone person, but let's try something new. So we've got Controlnet. We could try combining Controlnet and hybrid. To me, the point in Controlnet is full restylization. So it's very useful for that. If you want to use hybrid video, what you're doing there is blending the original source video in, and it gives you controls over that blending. So that might be something that you want to do. Maybe you want to make it like fade in and out, make the stylization come in and go out. Or maybe you want it to, use the stylization to change. That is very, very easy to do theoretically. But when you use hybrid, there's a lot of different factors that play into it. with this one, again, we have the simplest prompt ever, right? Clockwork Man, Renaissance painting, very, very simple. I just did that so I would know 100% that we're having an effect. To me, this is something where the model responds really well to it. We know that it's working. We verified that it's working. If you go the route of trying to do all your settings at once, which a lot of people do, especially when they're learning, they don't test things, they just jump right in. They got some tutorial on YouTube or TikTok, and it's like, here's how to turn yourself into a zombie. And they try all the settings, and then they're like, it doesn't work. With hybrid, it can be very hard to tell if Controlnet is working or not because you already have that stylization going on. It'll already blend to your prompt. So it's important to know that the hybrid is a separate tool that you want to use for a specific thing. It's not something you just put in because it's better. It's different, not better. ControlNet does stylization better. Hybrid allows you to play with the source video better. Okay, so now we're clear on that. I'm happy to answer questions on any of this. We're going to try out some different stuff here actually first because I want to show you some different things with hybrid. So let's go normal, hybrid, composite. Okay, so it's going to put, composite just means putting together. So you've got the source video and the diffused video. Let's get our little guy going here. We're going to use a depth map. So we'll do video depth. Here's our clockwork video, right? Pretty cool. All right. Now, down here, some of these settings I'm not as clear on, okay? So bear with me. Alpha means transparency. So this is the transparency of the original video, how much we're blending in. So we actually have it pretty high right now. I'm going to lower it so not as much is coming through. There's flow factor. We don't have the masking. Oh yeah, we do have a mask, but I'm just going to leave that for now. What I am going to enable is human masking. I want to test this out. So this is something I actually have to test, make sure it's working or not. We have some stuff in the Frontier build where we were working on this, but let's just make sure this is going. And let's put on, let's get a little crazy, do some interpolation. Okay, so we're going to do some interpolation here. This is how slow-mo you want it. All right. And upscale. Okay. So the upscale for a long time didn't work on ours. We got it fixed. We're going to interpolate the upscaled images. And just so you know, this doesn't work. The reason why it doesn't work is because it's got this drag and drop thing, which is made for local. It means you can't use a path. So I put in a request to the Deforum team to fix this. They used to have it where you could use a path. It got changed. You cannot drag and drop a video file here because of the way that our software is in the cloud. So this doesn't use paths. So basically, we need to modify this. And I've asked the Deforum team to fix it so it will work. So unfortunately, that doesn't work like it used to. But let's try this, okay? We're trying a few different things here, and I'm probably going to keep the logs up just so we can kind of see what's going on. And then maybe we'll work on a separate project in the other server. Even though this is 6 seconds, we're doing a lot here, so it might take a little bit. Oh, error, invalid path. Oh, it's because I have the resume on, right? So clear the resume because it was trying to find the mask stuff, the hybrid stuff. It was looking for that in the resumed time string folder, and it wasn't there because we changed the settings. So let's save these settings as settings 2. Okay, and now hit generate. All right, it's still got an issue. Oh, we don't have a hybrid video. Go here, /mount. And again, running into errors with Deforum is pretty normal. It's a complicated piece of software. So I could just copy it from the Controlnet thing, but I know what the path is because I've worked with this test video a lot. So we will do that. Generate in footprint. Thank you, Rox. That one always has to be enabled. If you don't do that, it won't create the path. It won't create the folder with all the frames. Would have taken me a while. It's been a little bit, but I'm excited to do more stuff with Deforum. All right. So I think we have to fix the human masking. Again, I wanted to test it live, see if it was still broken. Sorry for using you guys as a beta test, but this is all stuff we're trying to fix in our next rollout. It's crazy how many little things there are in Stable Diffusion. There we go. Doesn't look very clockwork though. Kind of creepy. So this is the hybridization, right? It's making it a little closer to the original video and a little less of the prompt is coming through. There's no clocks here. We kind of have a Renaissance vibe, so it's sort of interesting. But just keep in mind that if you want to blend more with the source video, use hybrid. If you want to restylize the Controlnet, don't use hybrid with it. Okay, so while that's going, let's load up something else here. And let's try something a little different. I've got a number of different videos in here. Some of them are pretty big, 40 megabytes. Some of them are a little bit smaller. Let's just look at these liquid sky ones and try it out. So this is like a pretty dark. It's from an old VHS rip of a film called Liquid Sky, which is absolutely bonkers. So this is pretty good, right? We've got right at the end, it kind of goes off, but there's like just a general portrait. This one's pretty wild. You got like a nightclub scene. Might be really hard to render that one. You got like lots of jump cuts, weird effects, and so on. So this is going to be like harder to prompt, right? If you want to work with that, you have to do a lot of prompting. Now here, this one's more like an effect. Yeah, interesting. Got some like weird visual effect stuff. So let's work with the first one. I think it's going to be the easiest. The last one looks really interesting, but why don't we do the last one actually? So that was Liquid Sky, what, 4? No, 3. Okay, let's do Liquid Sky 3. So we'll pop on Controlnet, Pixel Perfect, and let's use something totally weird. I don't even know if this is going to work, but I kind of want to try it. QR code. Let's use the IP adapter. SD15 plus. And I think you need clip vision for this. Oh, nope, IP adapter clip 1.5. There we go. Okay, so now we go /mount/private/vids/liquid sky 3.mp4. Controlnet is more important. Just resize. Okay. So the goal here is we're going to take the video and we're going to stylize and match that form. The second one, we're going to do, I don't know, not an open pose. I think in this case, there's a lot of like really dark areas in this one. So maybe we do like a depth. And we'll do 1.5. Oh, that's 2.1. depth. Okay. Copy the same path. Go over here. Now this video, oh, this is going to be so weird. It's super abstract. Okay, so this is 4, 3. That's what it looks like. 4 across the top, 3 tall. So I need a 4, 3 resolution. So I'm going to do width, I don't know. I'm just going to guess. Close enough. Oh, we don't want that. We want height 512 because we need it wider than tall. 768. And keyframes. Now, what are we going to make here? The question remains. So we've got this really wild, fun, strange video. So what could we do that's strange? Let's put some like LoRa's in there, maybe some like embeddings, and just get like really weird with it. So let's see. Let's do like an anime one, counterfeit. I'll use VAE. I like this one. And then in our prompt, let's do something a little interesting. So yesterday, I had this thread on Reddit where I talked about using image to image to do this crazy art stuff. So down here I have this prompt. So let's like just like copy the prompt. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong one. So here. And then let's just try that for starters. Yeah, this is gonna be real weird. So then we've got 3D, cadence 1, wrap. Get rid of the zoom, right? There's our prompt. We don't want, we got to make that match. We got IP adapter and depth, make that pixel perfect. We don't want hybrid. We want the output upscaled. And let me just check what that file is, what FPS it is, because that is actually very important. A lot of the older stuff is like for TV, it's 24 frames per second, which is actually a little slower, a little dreamier. Source video, here we go. So there's the videos. So if we go this one, there we go, 25 frames per second. Okay. Well, let's do the output at 25 then. All right. This is going to be a strange one, but we're going to let it run, see how it goes, and save settings here as liquid sky 3. We need our path /mount/private and save. Load them all to make sure they're good. Perfect. And let's hit generate. All right. How we doing so far? I'm going to check the chat channel. We got a couple people watching on YouTube. Someone saying, I wish I could run Deforum in Comfy UI. It is interesting. I will say that really big name, the creator of hybrid video, he did come in and say that he was doing was thinking about doing hybrid video in comfy, which would be cool. We got animate diff in there too, right? So there's a lot of potential, I feel like. I feel like there's some really cool stuff that could come out of that. All right, we had a question about VAEs. So with VAEs, the way I treat them is they it's funny, they're almost like the refiner. They're as annoying as the refiner. They just do like a very slight adjustment at the end. Technically, they're very different things, um, but functionally, they're actually kind of funnily similar. So with the VAEs, you really use them for um, slightly adjusting color and for um, small details like faces and eyes and stuff. That's what you use them for. All right, let's go check our video here. Oh God, so creepy. Ugh. Yeah, look at this weirdo. Okay, the clock comes out, but not right away. Very strange. So we're only using one control net here, right? Which is this soft edge. So you can see sometimes like their face, like the mask of their face almost like disconnects a little bit. Yeah, I'll put the link in here. Upvote as always. If you see us out there in social media, we're really trying to get people to notice us. Folks who, you know, might not normally use this. Maybe they've got a local GPU, trying to get other people aware. So yeah, your support on social media, dropping a little comment, a little like here and there, all that really adds up and makes a huge difference. So really appreciate the folks who chime in on social media, and hopefully we can get some more folks helping us out, because that's really one of the main things that we're trying to do now to drive people to our site and get them aware of our service. I think we got a pretty cool service here. So for us, it's like just getting more attention, more eyeballs on us really, really helps. Yep, so you see again, it sort of starts with like a non-stylized version. It's really weird. Wonder why. See, it should be just going like from frame 0, it should be just weighted at 1. So it's just kind of strange that it does that. It just takes a while to like kind of warm up, it feels like. I think you should be able to change that with the init. But I don't know. So this is the non-upscaled version. If we want to see the upscaled version, we go into here. We look at the video. We can go to the time string here, 507. So it's this one, right? Now you'll see here we have the MP4. There's all the frames. And when you have a big video, it's a lot of frames. Down here we have the Rife upscaled version and the upscaled version. So first let's look at the upscaled version. Side by side. Can't really tell because the upscaled version here is smaller. So let's open this up. Images, auto, 507 version. Down here we've got the upscaled one. So you can see the quality is a little bit better. Again, only a 6-second clip. It's upscaled. Really nice for when you want to use it with other things. Let's take a look at the upscaled one that had Rife applied. See how it went from 32 megs to 43 megs? So let's see if this smooths things out. Whoa. So this has a little bit of this like jello-y effect, I call it. You see how it's like kind of wobbling? It's much smoother, but it's kind of wobbling a little bit. So you do have to play around with Rife with some different settings, try different things out. It will lower the flickering a bit, but it's almost like too jello-y. And you can kind of modify that by doing some stuff with the slow-mo mode, interpolating it more. I'm really curious how this is going to turn out. Yep, it's pretty interesting. Depth and IP adapter. Really cool. All right. So we've got our video, we got our Controlnet. What else do people want to see? Any other questions I can answer? On Deforum in particular, we've gone over kind of a lot of the basics. Are there any settings you want to know? Oh, someone was asking about guided images. Can talk about that. Can talk about parsec. So let me know. Okay. When you go in here, I just want to point out something. So, like I said, there's a ton of files, right? If I want to find the video file real quick, you can just type video and it will just show you the video files in that directory. Very, very easy way to sort through all those frames and get what you need. Okay. Got 3 minutes there. So, okay, so first question was about guided images. In order to use guided images, you go keyframes, you go down here to guided images. You need to enable guided images mode. Make sure you read this. There's some recommendations for how to loop, how to use this. You're going to need to use either the paths or you can use images from online, so you can host them somewhere. In this case, they're hosted on GitHub. Do not use these f-stop weird things unless you really know what you're doing. I don't. So all I would do is I would basically go in here and do frame 10, frame 100, 1000, etc. Right? So that's how you would use that. And then the guided image schedule is where you can determine the blend, the tweening. So if the tweening frame schedule is 20, then you could only use images like a minimum of 20 frames, or sorry, 40 frames apart, I believe, because it's tweens from one to another, maybe 20. I like to give them a lot of space to really express the image. Otherwise, you get this sort of jarring pop where the image comes out if you don't have it tweened properly. So guided image mode is very fiddly. You'll spend a lot of time messing around with it, but it is pretty fun for sure. All right, close that. And then for question we had about parsec. So for parsec, you want to go to this website and you'll see a whole bunch of options. Now you can do everything in Deforum through here. Everything. There's your prompt, right? You can do multiple prompts. You can start and stop. You can manage all these different fields, different settings. Use graphs, use math, put in an audio file. So there's a ton of stuff you can do with this. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, some people love it. They only work in it. They think it's amazing. And for other folks, it's I don't want to do that. But there are some tutorials. There's a lot of tutorials online. If that's something that you want to get into, definitely check it out. Mask input issues. Make sure your paths are correct. But again, there was an issue with human masking, like I pointed out. So we are working on fixing some of the masking issues. Just let us know in support if you have any errors, anything like that that we can help with. Be happy to. And then, yeah, There's basically two kind of open source alternatives to like the Pika Labs and the Runway Gen 2 stuff. So the tools are Animate Diff, which is using um, these motion models. So it's great for using like a trained model. Oh, this looks so weird. It's great for using a trained model in Stable Diffusion. You'll find some work better than others, but you can do some really amazing stuff with it. We're going to have an Animate Diff update coming in the next release, which should include the motion LoRa's for camera control, as well as the extended uh, interpolated videos, so you can get longer videos. And uh, oh yeah, someone was asking for this like IP adapter train without LoRa quote unquote thing. We'll have that in there as well. Um, and then zero scope, model scope. We don't have that on RunDiffusion yet. I found it's like they haven't been developing it as fast, so it isn't really quite at the level of like a Pika or anything like that. It's kind of cool, but I think Animate Diff is definitely more useful. All right, are we ready for this? Let's check it out. What's our time string here? We've got 4331. So we go in here, look for our 4331. Great. And then we can search for video, hit enter. All right, so we got an upscaled version. Here we go. It got the style, but the depth map, not so much. Kind of interesting. Yeah, not really doing it. I think it's like focusing more on the prompt, right? So we go into Controlnet here. Controlnet is more important for IP adapter. This one was not set there. And so maybe we'll even weight this a bit. I think with this one we'll put it on balanced. Like this is just a stylization, right? So that one should be more balanced. Depth should be good. And then for output, I'm gonna like half this. Okay. And then maybe we do a third that's just like a soft edge because we have that like circle that increases in size, which is sort of showing up like their head, but not really. So yeah, let's do like a line art standard. Here we go. Put in the path. This one will go Controlnet is more important, just resize, pixel perfect, yada yada. All right. And let's give it a go. All right. So yeah, we've got some really fun stuff coming. We've got Deforum's working great. If you have any questions for Deforum, pop them in support. We're happy to help. Let's do another fun one here while we're waiting. Try a different model. So maybe perfect, deliberate, Mena mix. Let's do Mena mix. Mena pastel. Okay. And then, yeah, let's pop open prompt here. Let's see. Here we go. Try a better prompt. So this is a prompt I shamelessly stole from the Stability Discord when they were doing their testing. I got a bunch. I just grabbed a bunch because it seemed fun. And let's do render DAZ 3D. DAZ 3D is apparently really good if you're trying to get like 3D sort of stuff. But we actually don't have render in there, so let's just do that. And throw in a 3D semi-realistic. Let's use a LoRa. So we'll go over to the LoRa tab here. So this is SDXL. I think I just need to, if you want, you can check this out. So you go into edit metadata and you can update this. So I know this is SDXL, so I click it, save. And now when I refresh, is this Mena Pastel in SDX? No, it's a 1.0 model. It's supposed to go away. What are you doing? Oh, I probably can't. It's a shared one. I'll update that one. But for your custom stuff, you can update the the metadata of these. Okay, so I grab this LoRa Tangbohu line, cut, go to Deforum, just pop it in the prompt like that, and hit generate. How's this? Oh, this looks way cooler. All right, looking forward to this one. Yeah, getting more of the color from the prompt versus the Controlnet here really let it pop. All right, it's looking boring. Let it slowly blend in. So it's using that first image as an init. So weird. Strength just takes a while to set in, I think. So we could change the strength setting, get it a little bit weirder, right? And the weight, we just have that one Controlnet on this. So let's do 0.2. So I've lowered the strength, which means it'll be a little bit wilder. There's no init image for this because I'm just using Controlnet. So by lowering the strength in the keyframe, it's going to be a little bit wilder, but I've increased the strength weight, or the weight, sorry, of the Controlnet itself. So hopefully that'll rein it in a little bit. Oh my gosh, this looks so cool. Can't wait to see that one. But it's really weird, right? Like this is the source video for it. Oh yeah, no, that works, that works. And then it turns into like a ball. So what's funny is because Deforum like grabs onto things, when the frame switches, when the scene switches to this ball, like it's still going to have the face on there, but there won't be guidance for the face. The guidance will be trying to stick the face onto the ball. So it is gonna really glitch out shortly. But what's awesome about this is using the IP adapter model here, we got some of the VHS kind of quality in here, and it's really interesting, like all this like melted sort of stuff like at the beginning. This is called, this effect here on the video on the right, this is called solarization. So they are using keying and negative and solarizing from some like very old video equipment to do that, and so we're getting a bit of that effect in the video, which is really awesome. All right, this one's chugging along. It's not as wild and interesting as I wanted, but it's doing its thing. Sipping on my lemon and ginger. Love seeing what people make. So if you do make anything, well, definitely post it. In the showcase. Love to see what you do with Deforum. Let's give this a second to upscale. If we go into here, load the logs. Take a minute sometimes. Post it. This guy's chugging along. But yeah, I think after these videos are done, we will wrap it up. How long we got? It's kind of getting cool. I'm liking this effect. Like it eventually gets there. The stylization just takes a bit to cook, I think. And so you can adjust the settings to get this effect more immediately. Um, it's definitely possible. I think we're getting this like cross hatching kind of like art style actually from one of the control nets. This soft edge, I think it's like bringing a lot of extra detail from that, which is pretty neat. Yeah, I do like where this ended up. It looks very cool. Just yeah, weird that at the start it doesn't. And this is the thing, like it'll take a little bit to dial in the settings. It always does. It always does with Deforum. Takes a lot of work to really dial it in. But once you do, it's totally worth it because you get incredible results. Just very interesting things. Oh man, I'm using the wrong browser for this. That's my fault. Um, I've been using the Canary, which is like Chrome beta, and the browser tab keeps running out of memory because I always have like 40 billion tabs open. So if we check the settings here, there we go. See, it is going. It's almost done. Oh, is it done? No, it's still going, 84%. So we can just see it there. And it'll be done shortly. This one's probably upscaling right now. What's nice about doing things like upscaling and Rife, it does take a little bit longer, but uh, it will take a separate video for you. So you get like all the different versions there. Oh, and shout out to Level Bevel, working away. Heard you listening. This is great. Some folks in chat were asking about you. You're missed definitely, and yeah, can't wait to see what you've been up to. So there's an interesting idea. Repeat the first frame a bunch, and the rest comes in. That is an idea. I think that like it should work. I've had it work from the get-go a lot, and so you can mess around with this to get it to work. It's just something where I haven't tried it for a little while. No. Okay, we see the stylization coming in here, right? Yeah, very cool. And this is where it starts to look good. Like I love this line art style that comes through like halfway right here. This is awesome. Very, very fun. So I'd want to work on that to get it to come in. All right. And let's see. We've got that other video. I'll switch to it here. Is it done? Zoom, 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 zoom. Whoa, it's really excited. There we go. Upscaling. All right. Stitching. Yep, Level Bevel is awesome. They're just such a talented creator. They use all kinds of tools. You know, there's nothing off limits for them. They'll throw in Kyber, Runway, um, Deforum, Warp Fusion, and I think that's great. Like, there's so many cool things out there. There's no reason to limit yourself. I'm not a purist. I'm not going to be like, hey, you can only use RunDiffusion. I'm just going to show you the RunDiffusion bit. But I think especially in like long form video, like try everything. Find out what works for you. Okay, so let's go open this up. Time string here is 0106. So we'll open it up. Images, auto. 0106. What? Where is it? A minute ago. It's got to be one of these. Oh, that's that one. All right, this is the one. Weird. So there's the upscaled version. Really takes like 3-ish seconds to hit, huh? Yeah, fascinating. Okay. And the interpolated version. Very wobbly, but pretty cool. You see the eyes moving up and down and stuff. Like, you could fine tune this. You know, maybe use a couple more control nets. Get something interesting. All right. And now let's go check the other one. Yeah, so pumped for this one. Okay, we have the, let's just go straight to the upscaled version. Whoa. All right, now it's turning into the ball. When it went to the ball, it reverts to this like the prompt. So this is like the face, and then it goes ball here. So then you see that big eye coming into the middle. Yeah, I find Deforum is a much more abstract tool, and I love using it for that, finding the quirks, the weird things that it can create. And I find Warp Fusion is more like an exact tool, like it's for very particular um, stylizations. No. Did we get a Rife one as well? No, just the upscaled one. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Got all the input frames here, right? Funny thing is, it's like it repeats them a bunch of times for each input, but not needed. But there you go. Yeah, this one was fun. Really enjoyed it. All right, well, let's wrap up here. Thanks everyone for tuning in. As always, appreciate the support. And again, you see us out there in social media land, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a comment, and share all your wonderful creations in our showcase channel. It's really fun. Happy to help on any Deforum questions. We're figuring it out together. You know, I don't know everything about Deforum. It's a huge, wild tool with tons of different features. So if you find a cool technique, find something fun, share it. We'd love to see it. Let's keep that, you know, openness, sharing, that kind of vibe that's in the AI space right now. No reason to keep, you know, our secrets or anything like that. That's the way I feel. I share everything I find as an artist and create to inspire and encourage others. And I would encourage you to do so as well, because it only helps people learn and grow. And it's a wonderful thing. All right.